Today, as you can see, I'm going hiking out to Pengerang Lookout. Well, you can't really see because there's no sign on the gate. Let's go around through the bollards.
I wonder down here the official sign.
There it is. Or was. Why would someone steal the sign? Anyway, this is the track to Pengerang Lookout. On the sign up here it says Pengerang Lookout. The sign on the road back there points to the left and says Pengerang Lookout. And yet in Wangaratta everything says Bangarang. There's Bangarang and Pengerang, and some people have a B and a P, like Bapangarang. I'm not sure which one's the right one. So because the sign says Pengerang Lookout, I'll call this Pengerang Lookout. And if there are any Indigenous people watching, or any people watching that might know whether it's Pengerang or Bangarang, please let me know in the comment below. I've just found a few grass trees. There's quite a few of those grass trees up here in the Warrby Ranges. I read somewhere once that they grow something like 50 millimetres every 10 years or something crazy. They're very, very slow growing. And I could be wrong, but my understanding is that grass trees that high could be hundreds of years old. And they can survive bushfires like no other. Righto, so far so good. So far the track's been quite easy. In fact, it's been too easy. It's been all downhill. That's a concern because that means I've got to go back uphill to get back to the car. What a spectacular winter's day. It was a very cold start this morning at -2, but look at it now. Glorious. Look at those patterns in the sky up there. Just wonderful. Those pine trees over the back there. That's Pengerang Lookout, that hill over the back that you can see in the background. You can probably see it better at that zoom. Or at that zoom. Or at that zoom. So the track that I'm on now, I think from memory, I have walked out here before, but not for a few years. I think this is the lowest point on the track. It's been downhill all the way. I haven't even needed my walking poles, they've just been an accessory, but they come in handy when I go uphill and up steep hills. And this track goes all the way along the ridge and right out to the end. And I might not look it from here, but it's quite steep out there, and that's where my hiking poles will come in the handiest. I don't know whether the camera's picking this up or not, but according to my little Garmin eTrex, looks like I'm about halfway. I've done 1.17 kilometres and I'm about halfway along the track. So that's the easy half. Now I've got the steep half to go, and the track is very slippery. This sort of dark mud with a little bit of moss on it is so slippery. But anyway, now onto the second half of the track where it starts to get steeper. Right, I'm a little bit puffed now because it's been getting hillier. I'm out on the ridge. You can see in the background over there, the farmland over to the west of the Warrby Ranges. Then over that side of the ridge is where I sort of come from. The ridge goes along there. And through the gap there, you can see those trees at the back. That's the hill with Pengerang Lookout on it. I'm puffed. It's getting steeper. And the vegetation is getting a lot less dense. There's the slippery track that I've hiked in on. Keep on climbing. Yep, it gets steep near the end. A rocky ridge to walk along. From memory, I think the track goes over the top of this hill, then right down through a saddle, then I've got to climb up the other side to Pengerang Lookout. It's been probably 6 or 7 years since I've been here. But if my memory serves me correctly, that's what has to happen shortly. It's not over just yet. That's Pengerang Lookout over there on that other hill. Pengerang Lookout. I'll go for a walk over there and find somewhere to sit. I'll catch my breath and I'll tell you all about it. I'm not sure whether you can see right in the middle of the screen there, you can see the snow on Mount Buller. I'm only filming with a mobile phone here, so the quality is not going to be great. That's looking sort of southeast. Now we're looking southwest. Westies over there. If I walk up to the top of these rocks here, I'll get a really clear view of that whole area over there to the northwest. Beautiful view. Been looking back across the Warby Ranges through there. There's the hill. I'll walk around to the western side of the hill. You can see over the Warby Ranges there. The light's going to be pretty ordinary here because I'm looking straight into the sun. But that's sort of looking out towards Yarrawonga over that way. Looking west. Sort of over towards Shepparton, which is over that way. Big hello to Simon Humphrey, an amazing man that lives at Shepparton. And that's it. What a wonderful spot for me to sit down now and eat my mandarin and take in the views before I head back to the car. What a wonderful view. I feel on top of the world. Not because I'm on top of a hill, but I feel on top of the world. In actual fact, this hill, where I am now, I'm at 360 metres above sea level. And those flats down there are around about 160. So the hill itself is only 200 metres higher than the flats below. The reason I feel on top of the world is just because I've lost weight and I'm fit enough to do this stuff again. You know, only 3 or 4 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have been fit enough to do this. And 2 months ago, I wouldn't have had a chance. About 2 years ago, during the Black Saturday, I think they called it, the Black Summer bushfires, I went over to Rochester. I went fishing with my good friend Rowan. And since then, I've lost 25 kilograms. Now, the first sort of 10 or 12 kilograms came off really slowly. And nobody even noticed. Because it was so slow and gradual, nobody noticed that I was 10 or 12 kilos lighter. But the last 10 or 12 kilos have come off just in the last couple of months because I've been doing a lot of this bushwalking and I feel so much better for it. I remember fishing with Rowan. I couldn't breathe and I'm saying, I can't breathe, Rowan, the smoke's affecting my asthma. But I think it was my weight more than my asthma. My advice to anybody out there that's struggling with being overweight, like I am, I was and still am, just not as much, is to get some exercise, eat healthy and lose some weight. But you've got to do it for yourself. That's the most important thing. Do it for yourself when you're ready. You don't do it because other people are pressuring you to lose weight. You certainly don't do it when people leave nasty comments on your YouTube videos. You just laugh and shrug them off. But when you're ready and you feel that now's a good time, then do yourself a favour and try and shed a few kilos. I know better than anybody what it's like to struggle with weight. I've been up and down like a yo-yo all my life. And it's bloody hard, especially when you like food so much. Food releases a chemical in your brain, eating releases a chemical in your brain called endorphin. They call it a feel-good hormone because you feel good. That's why you eat. You eat the food and you feel good. But then you put on weight and then that leads to not feeling good. The eating the food makes you feel good for a couple of minutes while you're eating, but the feeling not good by carrying all the extra weight lasts a lot longer. So when you're ready, not because someone's telling you to, but because you want to and you feel the time's right, just take some small steps. Go on some small walks. This time around on this journey, I started walking around the Wangaratta Common of an evening towards the end of summer. Just a 20-minute walk each night. Then I started doing 2 laps. Turned out to be a 40-minute walk. Then I started doing a few bushwalks, and now I'm at the point where I can confidently and comfortably walk out to a hill like this, and I literally feel on top of the world. Righto, it's time to leave this beautiful place that is Pengerang Lookout. The current time is 2:15, so we don't have to be at the funeral home for the meeting until 5 o'clock. Yes, you heard that right. That's never a good thing when you've got to go to a funeral home for meetings. But anyway, Loretta's back at the car, which is way over there, a couple of kilometres. I've got about a short 2-kilometre hike. It's quite an easy hike apart from being slippery. I'm going to get back to the car. I'm heading off now. Well, folks, I'm back at the car park and the broken sign and the locked gate. I'm absolutely puffed. I came back very quickly, stopping only once just to see a few quail. I found a small mob of quail. Pangarang Lookout in the Warby Ovens National Park. If you Google it, you'll be able to find it. And it's a lovely walk. It's not super hard. All up, I've done 4.7 kilometres. If you allow a couple of hours, you'll do it easily. But just be careful. It is very, very slippery at the moment.